There's a reason you feel this way. A quiet dissonance that hums beneath the surface of your everyday. A feeling that the person you are and the person you are meant to be are separated by an invisible, seemingly unbreachable wall. And tonight, we're going to expose it, not as a flaw in your character, but as a predictable and ultimately breakable code written by your own mind. A code we will crack together in the deep quiet of this hour, because this is about more than just change. This is about the very architecture of becoming. The raw and often unnerving, the psychology of self-transformation psychology. Fix that begins not with adding something new, but with dismantling the old. And it starts with a simple, haunting question that might be flickering in the back of your mind right now. Why, despite knowing exactly what you need to do, do you find yourself circling the same familiar, painful starting blocks? Trapped in a room whose walls you swear you've never built? Pause, just for a second, and notice the physical sensation that question just triggered. A tightness in the chest, a slight weight on the shoulders. You've felt this before, haven't you? This is the first footprint of the pattern, and we're going to follow it all the way home. Let's go deeper. The mind, your mind, is not a chaotic mess. It is a sophisticated survival engine. And its primary directive is not happiness, not fulfillment, but predictability and safety. And to that end, it has built a fortress of you, constructed from every experience, every wound, every triumph you've ever had. A fortress designed to keep you safe from the perceived dangers of the unknown, from the terrifying vulnerability of true failure, or perhaps even more frightening, the daunting responsibility of genuine success. And so it creates loops, familiar emotional and behavioral scripts that, while painful, are at least known quantities. And the you that you experience every day is often just the warden of this self-made prison, mistaking the walls for the boundaries of your own soul. But here's the truth. The warden is also a prisoner. What no one tells you is that this system is powered by a hidden emotional trigger, a core wound that acts as the linchpin for the entire mechanism. A single, often childhood-forged belief that you are, at your core, not enough, or that you are too much, that you are fundamentally flawed, unlovable, or destined to be overlooked. And every single self-sabotaging behavior, every moment of procrastination, every settled-for relationship, every silenced dream, is not a random act of weakness, but a precise, albeit misguided strategy to protect you from the perceived catastrophe of that core wound being confirmed by the outside world. You feel it making sense already, don't you? That subtle shift, the click of a puzzle piece you've been holding in your hand for years. Let me tell you about Alex, who sat exactly where you are now, mentally scrolling through a life that felt like it belonged to someone else. A good job on paper, a comfortable apartment, a network of friendly acquaintances, yet every night the hollow ache echoed in the silence, a sense of being a ghost in his own life. And his pattern was one of relentless accommodation, saying yes when he meant no, smoothing over conflicts, making himself small and agreeable so as not to be a burden, because his core wound, forged in a childhood of walking on eggshells around a volatile parent, was the belief that his own needs were an intolerable inconvenience, that to be loved was to be invisible, and his entire adult life was a beautifully constructed prison to avoid ever feeling like that difficult child again. And his self-transformation began not with a loud bang, but with a single, quiet moment of recognition. A Tuesday evening when a friend canceled plans for the third time, and instead of the usual "no problem," Text? He felt a sharp, clear spike of anger, and for the first time he didn't swallow it. He simply sat with it and asked, "What is this feeling protecting me from?" And the answer that arose was the key. It was protecting him from the imagined rejection that would follow if he ever dared to assert his presence. You're starting to see it now. This is why willpower fails, why motivational quotes fade. Because you've been trying to fix the symptoms while the root cause, this hidden emotional trigger, remains fully operational, pumping out fear disguised as logic, whispering that it's safer here inside the familiar misery than out there in the terrifying expanse of your own potential. But tonight that ends. Tonight we arm you with the first weapon, the master key that begins to unlock every door. Radical awareness. This is not positive thinking. This is forensic thinking. It is the deliberate, gentle act of turning your consciousness upon itself, to observe the machinery of your own mind without immediately trying to shut it down. Step 1. Recognize the trigger. This means becoming a detective of your own inner world. The next time you feel that familiar pull to scroll mindlessly, to snap at a loved one, to retreat from a challenge, to eat when you're not hungry, to say yes when you mean no, you stop. If only for a breath, and you name it. You say, "This is the pattern. This is the trigger." You identify the specific feeling in your body, the clench in your jaw, the knot in your stomach, and you label the associated thought. "I am not capable of this," or "I will be rejected if I speak up." Step 2. Reframe the story. Here, you challenge the automatic narrative. You take that thought, "I am not capable," and you reframe it with compassion and truth. This is a familiar fear speaking, not a fact. "I feel incapable in this moment, but I have handled difficult things before." You see the story your mind is telling you, the story of impending doom, of certain failure, and you consciously, deliberately write a new sentence at the bottom of the page. Step 3. Replace the pattern. You introduce a single, tiny, defiant action that breaks the circuit. Instead of reaching for your phone, you place your hands on the desk and take 3 deep breaths. Instead of saying yes, you say, "Let me think about that and get back to you." You replace the autopilot behavior with a chosen one. No matter how small, and in that small space of choice, you reclaim your agency. Pause. Notice what that just revealed. The space between trigger and response, that is where your power resides. You've felt that space before, in moments of unexpected clarity, and now you know how to find it again. Let's go deeper still, because awareness alone is not enough. You must then learn to disarm the charge, to pull the emotional fuse from the bomb. And that is where we deploy our second weapon, emotional alchemy. This is the process of not resisting or numbing your difficult emotions, but of listening to them, of understanding that they are not enemies to be eliminated, but ancient, misshapen messengers carrying crucial information about your needs and your boundaries. Your anxiety is not a sign that you are broken. It is a signal that you care deeply about an outcome, and your mind is trying to control it. Your anger is not a destructive force to be buried. It is a blazing indicator of a violated boundary or a deep-seated value that has been trampled. Your sadness is not a weakness to be hidden. It is the tender acknowledgement of a loss, a testament to your capacity to love and care. Step 1. Recognize the trigger. You feel the surge of a negative emotion, let's say a hot wave of frustration in a meeting. Instead of immediately reacting or suppressing, you notice it. Frustration is here. Step 2, reframe the story. You get curious, not critical. You ask it, what are you here to tell me? What value of mine feels threatened? What boundary is being crossed? You listen. The frustration might whisper, my time is not being respected, or my ideas are being consistently overlooked. Step 3, replace the pattern. Instead of biting your tongue or exploding, you channel the energy of the emotion into a clear, respectful communication. You might say, I want to make sure we're using our time effectively. Can we return to the main agenda point? You have alchemized raw frustration into assertive, self-respecting action. The emotion is no longer the master. It is the informant. But here's the truth. This requires a level of self-intimacy that can feel terrifying, because it means finally acknowledging the depth of your own longing and pain. Let me tell you about Sarah, whose pattern was a fortress of cynicism and intellectual superiority, pushing people away before they could get close enough to see the real her, which she was convinced was boring and unremarkable. Her core wound was the belief, forged in a childhood of being the weird kid, that she was fundamentally unlovable in her authentic state. And so she preemptively rejected the world before it could reject her. And her transformation began when, during a therapy session, she was asked to simply feel the loneliness she spent her whole life running from. And as she sank into it, she didn't disappear. Instead, she found a profound, tender connection to the little girl who just wanted to be seen. And from that place, she made a choice, a tiny replacement pattern. When she felt the urge to make a sarcastic comment to deflect a compliment, she instead forced herself to make eye contact and whisper a genuine thank you. And each time she did, the fortress wall crumbled just one more brick. You feel that, don't you? The courage in that small thank you. It's in these microscopic moments that empires of the self are toppled and rebuilt. And this leads us to our third and perhaps most potent weapon, narrative rescripting. You are not just a collection of behaviors. You are a living, breathing story that you tell yourself about who you are, where you came from, and what you are capable of. And this story, this personal myth, is the software that runs your entire life. The problem is, most of us are running on a version of the software written by a frightened child, interpreting events through a lens of powerlessness and fear. Your story might be, I'm a quitter. I'm not a math person. I always get left behind. I'm just lazy. These are not facts. They are interpretations, and they can be rewritten. Step 1. Recognize the trigger. You catch the old limiting story the moment it arises. You hear yourself think, I always mess up relationships, as you feel the urge to pick a fight with your partner. You name it. There is the I always mess up story. Step 2. Reframe the story. You challenge its totality. You gather evidence to the contrary. You rewrite it with nuance and compassion. It is true that some of my past relationships have ended painfully, and I have made mistakes. It is also true that I have learned from them, that I have shown capacity for love and repair. This current situation is new, and I can choose a different path. Step 3. Replace the pattern. You consciously act from the new, more empowering story. Instead of picking the fight, you choose vulnerability. You say, I'm feeling insecure right now and I'd really like a hug. You behave as the author of your new story, not the victim of your old one. Pause. Ask yourself this now. What is the one story you've been telling yourself that has held you back the most? Just let it surface. Don't judge it, just see it there on the page of your mind and know that you hold the pen. This is the essence of the psychology of self-transformation psychology fix. It's not about fighting yourself, but about rewriting yourself. And this rewriting requires a new environment for the new self to grow in, which is why our fourth weapon is patterned environment design. You cannot will yourself into a new life while surrounded by the cues and triggers of the old one. Your environment is the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. From the apps on your phone that hijack your dopamine, to the people you surround yourself with who reinforce your old identity, to the physical spaces that whisper reminders of who you used to be. To transform, you must consciously design your surroundings to support the person you are becoming, to make the right behaviors easy and the old patterns difficult. Step 1. Recognize the trigger. Audit your life. Identify the people, places, and routines that consistently pull you back into the old self. Is it the after-work drinks that always lead to negative gossip? Is it the phone by your bed that leads to an hour of mindless scrolling first thing in the morning? Is it the cluttered desk that subconsciously signals chaos? Step 2. Reframe the story. See your environment not as a fixed backdrop, but as a malleable tool. Understand that changing it is not a rejection of your past, but an investment in your future. It is an act of self-respect. Step 3. Replace the pattern. Engineer your world. Unsubscribe from toxic social media accounts. Move your phone to another room at night. Rearrange your furniture to create a dedicated space for your new habits. A reading chair. A yoga mat permanently unrolled. Have the difficult conversation with the friend who constantly drains your energy. You are not just changing your habits. You are changing the ecosystem in which yourself exists. Let me tell you about Ben, whose story was, "I'm just not disciplined." A narrative that played on a loop every time he looked at his unused gym membership, his pile of unread books, his chaotic kitchen that made cooking a healthy meal feel like a monumental task. His transformation began when he stopped trying to muster more discipline and instead redesigned his environment, a project he approached not as self-punishment, but as a game. He prepaid for a trainer so skipping felt like losing money. He placed a book on his pillow every morning so he'd read just a page before bed, and he spent one Sunday throwing out every processed food and organizing his kitchen so that the easiest thing to grab was a pre-chopped vegetable. And within weeks, the story of "I'm not disciplined" simply ceased to be true, replaced by the lived experience of a man whose world supported his growth. You're starting to see the whole picture now. How these weapons interlock. How awareness exposes the mechanism. Alchemy disarms the charge, rescripting changes the code, and environment design builds the new world. But integration is where it all crystallizes, where the separate acts of defiance weave together into a new way of being, a new default setting for your soul. This is the freedom that lies on the other side of the work, the freedom to end the psychology of self-transformation pattern tonight, not as a one-time event, but as a continuous flowing process of becoming. It is the understanding that you are not a fixed noun, but a fluid verb, constantly in a state of creation, and that every moment is a choice point, an opportunity to reaffirm the new self, or to gently, without self-flagellation, course-correct back from the old. It's the realization that the goal is not to reach some perfect, finished state, immune to pain or doubt, but to develop a resilient, compassionate relationship with yourself. a deep trust that you can handle whatever arises, that you are the source of your own validation and safety. This is the final gentle realization that the wound, the very thing you thought was your greatest weakness, was in fact the gateway to your greatest strength, because in learning to heal it, you had to access depths of courage, compassion, and wisdom you never knew you possessed. The wall was never there to imprison you. It was there to show you exactly where you needed to grow. And now, brick by chosen brick, you are taking it down, not with the rage of a demolition, but with the care of an archaeologist uncovering a lost city, the city of you. And as the light of your own awareness floods in, you see that the person you were always meant to be was never on the other side, waiting. She was always right here, buried but breathing. And with every conscious breath you take, you are clearing away the dust. You are remembering your own name, and you are finally coming home.